Welcome to Speak for Yourself, Marcellus Wiley, Raspberry, Sorbet, Emmanuel Acho. Yeah. The tie came later, huh? You got dressed. He's like, I need a tie. I got to hurry up and go set. I was rushing too. I left my ring. Maybe it's a sign. Watch yourself, Anna Marie. All right, let's get started with a reward performance brought to you by Capital One. Acho, what's in your wallet? Lamar Jackson is a former MVP, unanimous MVP, I said, and he's already won 31 games, including his first playoff win last season. And he's only 24 years young. Bleacher Report listed their top NFL players under 25, and Lamar came in first place. Take a look at the top 10. Lamar is ranked higher than fellow quarterbacks Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and Justin Herbert. Man, that was fast. So, Acho, is Lamar the best NFL player under 25?
So, it's still 12. The show started at 12, and you're going to end up without a co-host and a wife before 12 and 1. This man talking.
Everybody get you too. Get out of here. I'm a problem. What's up?
Man, Lamar Jackson, he's not the best player under 25, big dog. And it's not to say he's not a great player, and I don't even know why I have to say this, so I'm not going to say it. I'm going to save all the pleasantries and semantics. We all know how great Lamar Jackson is. But you're talking best players under 25, I'm talking projections.
Why?
Who is going to accomplish more? Who is going to do more meaningful things collectively on the football field? Now, it's not something that's super out of left field, because to me, the best player under 25 was the number 2 ranked player, Josh Allen.
Or you taking my boy, my brother from another.
Straight up.
That's my baby right there.
Why? Because, Sal,
what?
Josh Allen has already gone further in the playoffs than Lamar Jackson, and individually, Josh Allen has also accomplished more than Lamar Jackson.
Huh?
But Josh Allen didn't get rewarded for it. He didn't get the unanimous MVP Lamar Jackson got, but I challenge you at home. Look up Lamar Jackson's MVP season. Look up how many total touchdowns he had. Look up how many passing yards he had. Look up how many total yards he had. Then look up Josh Allen his past season. Look up how many total touchdowns he had. Look up how many passing yards he had. Look up how many total touchdowns and total yards he had, and you'll be like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Josh Allen, you individually had a greater individual season than Lamar Jackson when Lamar Jackson was a unanimous MVP. And Josh Allen, you've had greater playoff and greater collective success than Lamar Jackson has had. So individually, your highs have been higher, and collectively, your highs have been higher. You didn't get rewarded for it, unfortunately, because you ran in a faster heat that race. However, you still ran a faster time than Lamar Jackson. You just didn't end up getting the gold. You took home the silver. Lamar Jackson took home the gold. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, if we really being real, right now, Josh Allen is a faster sprinter. He is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, both individually and collectively. Lamar Jackson is way swaggier. Lamar Jackson has all the style, has all the charisma, has all the personality, and is incredibly likable. I'll go as far as to say lovable. I loved him coming out of Louisville. I love him right now. But that doesn't take away from the fact of the truth. And the truth is, Josh Allen is a better quarterback right now than Lamar Jackson.
That was your take? That's it?
I got one in the chamber, but I didn't want to leave with my surprise.
Okay. Oh, you better. Oh, was this a box of Cracker Jacks or something? At the bottom of it is going to be your surprise. Good luck with that. Yes, it's Lamar Jackson. And it's simple. I want to deduce it.
Please.
Look, first of all, this is based on performance, not projections. Once again, you like to do what you like to do, which is skew the definition. Go ahead. Okay, so if you're under 25, it's based on how long you've been on this planet. And if you're under 25 in this Bleacher Report, it's based on what you've done in the NFL under the age of 25. Lamar Jackson, second to none. Any other unanimous MVPs on this list? I'll wait. It's going to get quiet up in here. Anybody? No. Oh, why? Because only one other player in NFL history can even say that. Lamar Jackson hit the ground running. Lamar Jackson saved coaches' jobs and steadied the franchise. Lamar Jackson is the main meal on this. Everyone else, damn, this hurts, including you, Josh Allen, is condiments to this main meal, to this main course. Let me tell you why. Josh Allen didn't hit the ground running. That counts in this conversation. Josh Allen's second year wouldn't have qualified to be with Lamar Jackson. Only 1 year, the anomaly, maybe you can go there and say. Because if we don't see that with consistency, if we don't see that supported with another great season, it could turn into a Baker Mayfield roller coaster. Yeah, I brought his name up. Point being, I'm looking at Josh Allen like, oh, talented. Oh, you know I love you. Oh, you may turn out to be the greatest. But right now, you started off too slow to even qualify for the semifinals, let alone the finals against Lamar Jackson. I remind you that he had 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions under the age of 25. That ain't gonna get it. I'm gonna remind you 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. If Lamar Jackson ever went out there and gave you either one of those seasons, duck, bow, he got to go. So I'm not gonna give Josh Allen the nod over a unanimous MVP, even though I know. Here's the thing. An amazing career by Lamar Jackson already. We're talking about Lamar Jackson in regression, still having a great season. When we're talking about only with Josh Allen in your conversation, him continuing to improve to get to Lamar Jackson's level. So I'm ready to dive and dig into this Cracker Jack box because I'm waiting for the surprise because so far you ain't got enough for me.
Well, honestly, I don't have to have enough with eloquent words because still the numbers speak for themselves. Well, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, who had more rushing touchdowns last year? Surely it was Lamar Jackson. Surely it was.
Do it.
It wasn't. It was Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, who had more passing yards last year? Surely it was Lamar Jackson. He was unanimous MVP the year before. Oh, it wasn't really close. Lamar Jackson had 26 passing touchdowns this year. Josh Allen had 20 in his second season. So really, if you want to look at the last 2 years collectively of both their body of work, it is very comparable. So if their last 2 years, not just 1 year isolated, if their last 2 years are comparable, then give me the guy who's currently peaking. Don't give me the guy who was off of his peak. Now, being off of his peak is still being a bad man. But still, this past year, Josh Allen was a dude. But the real crux of my Josh Allen argument, before I get to my surprise at the bottom of the Cracker Jack box. Y'all wait for this one. The big crux of my Josh Allen argument is until you or someone, anyone, please prove to me that you can win a Super Bowl. Please prove to me that you can win a Super Bowl playing the game of football the way the Ravens have Lamar Jackson playing it.
Okay,
then I can't do that.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'll tell y'all this, because y'all at home will be like, oh, well, Steve Young. Oh, well, Russell Wilson. No!
I'm not done.
Lamar Jackson has 2 passing yards for every 1 rushing yard. When Steve Young won the Super Bowl, he had 13 passing yards for every 1 rushing yard. Josh Allen this past year had 10 passing yards for every 1 rushing yard. Y'all look at the list. These are Super Bowl winners. The year they won the Super Bowl, how many passing yards for every 1 rushing yard? Acho, what does this mean? Why you give me all this Columbia jargon? Because what it means is simple. You can't win a Super Bowl only passing the ball twice as far as you run the ball. If y'all was traveling across the country and you flew only twice as many miles as you drove, there would be a problem because it's much easier to fly than it is to drive. And as long as the Ravens try to run their offense exclusively by driving, I don't think they can win a Super Bowl. I'll end like this.
Yeah, you better keep going because you ain't not enough.
Like this.
It's not a good surprise.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook's an incredibly talented basketball player. Incredibly talented basketball player.
Why are you bringing up all this?
Because we talk about a lot of sports on this show. You competent enough to talk about, ain't you?
Not right now.
You need to go back and get your master's degree.
I'm trying.
Because the undergrad degree wasn't enough.
At Columbia? Hell no, I ain't failing out of that.
Russell Westbrook's an incredible basketball player. Maybe the most athletic basketball player we've seen with the ball in his hands on the court. He's gotten a Supermax deal. He's sold out arenas. He's won MVPs. But notable analysts will admit you can't win an NBA championship playing the game of basketball the way Russ plays it. Limited shooting, etc. Lamar Jackson will get a Supermax deal as it pertains to football. He is maybe the most athletic football player we've ever seen with the ball in his hands. He will sell out stadiums. But thus far, the NFL has proven you cannot win a Super Bowl playing the game of football the way the Ravens currently have Lamar Jackson playing.
You catch me right now? You feeling my body language? It's when you get in a real relationship and stop being super single, you're going to learn this performance art of not listening. I do it to my wife all the time. I'm just like, yeah. And she does it to me as well. What the hell are you talking about?
The truth.
Has Josh Allen...
The truth.
Has Josh Allen won a Super Bowl?
The truth.
Has Josh Allen won a Super Bowl?
He got close.
Just like this. This punch got close, too. But guess what? Did it hit? No. What the hell? Woo. It's not about projections. It's about performance. I don't need you to come up here trying to profess what you think's going to happen. Hasn't happened yet at the age of 25 or younger. Josh Allen has not won a Super Bowl. So take that one off. Then you want to bring up pass attempts, and you want to talk about yardage. Josh Allen had damn, I'm going to sound like I hate my dog, and I love my dog. 572 pass attempts And you're going to compare his passing yard stats to a guy who had 376. Want to know why? Because on the fourth quarter, he talking to the cheerleaders, chilling with his pads off, out there winning. Oh, you want to talk about wins?
He was in the restroom.
Also,
he was in the restroom.
Well, he did that one time, but it was injury. It was an injury concern. That's a number 3 when you're hurt and you got to go to the bathroom. 461 pass attempts to 401. Lamar Jackson is winning so often and so fast that I'm not even in there in the fourth quarter half the times. Let's talk about the best quarterbacks under 25, because there's really only these two in this conversation. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. I wonder who has a higher win percentage. Ding, 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 ding. I wonder who has a higher completion percentage. You just told me that Josh Allen could throw the football as a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. Why doesn't have a higher completion percentage? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Oh, here we go. Passing touchdowns the last 2 years. Certainly is Josh Allen. Nope, sorry. Lamar Jackson once again. What about interceptions? Okay, you can have that one, Josh Allen. You threw more interceptions than Lamar Jackson. What about yards per attempt? You know the guys with the big arms like Josh Allen. Oh, they gun it. They throw it deep down the field. Oh, Lamar Jackson beat him in that one. What about passer rating? Add it all up. Sum it up. Equal sign on the calculator. Shoot program, Nito. Guess what happens on this one? Lamar Jackson beats him in passer rating as well. Boy, if you don't stop. And then all that said, they just going to take it to the crib. And when I go to Josh Allen's house, am I going to see an MVP? Am I going to see a unanimous MVP? Dog, that's the cherry on top. But you act like it's not a lot of cake right here. Lamar Jackson, clearly, Bleacher Report got it right. Number 1, under 25.
Since it's a Bleacher Report article, can we adhere to the Bleacher Report's criteria? The Bleacher Report's criteria. Production is, of course, important, although per-game productivity was weighted slightly more important than overall numbers.
I'm lost.
Potential was a significant consideration.
Yeah.
Potential was a significant consideration. So this is not just a conversation of what have you done.
Wait a minute.
This list is a conversation also of potential.
Oh, at University of Texas, they didn't tell you the difference between potential and projection? Oh, you can have potential in the present.
Yes, you can. But potential is also about a future.
It can be, and they just talked you around it with elastic language saying it's partly considered, but it's not going to be more than performance.
Correct.
It's
a combination.
That's
what I'm saying. It's
so
a combination.
we're going to start with the root. We're going to start with the foundation of performance.
Great. And the foundation
not projection.
The foundation of performance is negligible. Josh Allen threw 20 touchdowns his second season, had 9 rushing touchdowns his second season.
That ain't Lamar.
Lamar Jackson had 26 touchdowns this past season, 7 rushing touchdowns this past season. There is a 5-touchdown difference.
Did you just do that? Did you just go second year Josh, but then you went third year Lamar?
I'm comparing you apples to apples. I'm comparing you apples to apples. Lamar Jackson's height is lower than Josh Allen's height. If you want to talk about, this isn't even a conversation argument. Just look statistically.
What?
Lamar Jackson's best is lower than Josh Allen's best.
But what about his worst?
Opinion.
You know you get graded on what you mess up to as much as you do well. You know that, right? You know that. Police don't stop you when you're going the speed limit. It's only when you exceed it.
Absolutely.
You know that the negatives in your life count as much as those positives?
Sure, but we don't ever talk about somebody's worst.
Hold on. Yes, well, you want to know who we are talking about? The 26th guy who didn't make this list because of 25 under 25. They didn't get in because they got too low of lows. Josh Allen's lows will drag him down even though he has 1 year of highs. But even in 1 year of highs, 572 attempts to a guy who threw 376. If we really want to go apples to apples, you can say Lamar Jackson, if you were out there trying to do the same things that Josh Allen was doing, you would exceed that as well. How you gonna compare somebody's best against somebody's worst and then say you got a real
I'm not comparing somebody's best to somebody's worst. Look at their last 2 years.
I just gave you the last 2 seasons.
Their last
win percentage, completion percentage, passing touchdowns, passing yards per rate.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Everything is
the Milwaukee Bucks have the best win percentage the last 2 years.
Another sport.
And what chips they got to show for it? What chips they got to show for it?
What does Josh got to show for it?
The best regular season win percentage the last 2 years. Don't talk to me about a regular season win percentage. Don't talk to me about regular season win percentages. Can we at least talk about playoff accomplishments?
Oh, yeah, we could go there. That's when you have an argument, because you have none so far. Go playoffs. Talk about my Buffalo Bills make me feel good.
Okay, let's acknowledge it.
Yeah, I like all these resets because I got you in them corners.
Who had a better regular season high at their highest, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? There's data that backs it up. It's not an opinionated question.
You know why the data is skewed?
It's not an opinionated
Because Lamar, his best year, he was fourth quarter chilling. I just gave you the numbers, bro. Compared to Josh Allen.
What was their record? The record of the Baltimore...
He was 13-2.
Correct. What was Josh Allen's record? 13-3. They were both fourth quarter chilling.
Which one's better?
They were both fourth quarter chilling.
Which one's better?
They both won 13
No, that's not point differential because the Ravens have the higher point differential.
They both won 13
Don't do that, dog. I'm trying to help you.
You ain't trying to help me do
I don't want to make you look bad.
Trying to help me do
highest point differential is the Baltimore Ravens. That's why everyone's like, when y'all going to do something in the playoffs? There's higher point differential than it is with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, okay? Close games, you want to talk about the New England Patriots game? Deep in the territory? Oh, Cam Newton, look out, don't fumble. If not, you're going to beat the Buffalo Bills? You want me to keep doing that? Here's the point. Lamar Jackson was that guy so high that he didn't even finish those games and still was unanimous MVP. Don't compare that year to last year with Josh Allen, where he was in games and still having to play all 4
That year was worse than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is better in the regular season than Lamar Jackson was better in the regular season. I don't even like Josh Allen. That's the craziest thing. He got me up here defending a person I don't even like. I don't like Josh Allen.
You know what?
I like Lamar Jackson.
And I'm not going to lie to you because I love you too much. Your defense of Josh Allen showed that you don't really like him because your heart wasn't into it. If you're going to come at me, you got to come at me.
I'm not even coming at you.
Lamar Jackson is the guy. And we're not even going to talk about other guys because some guys in this conversation.
You know, there's another person I put on this list before Lamar Jackson.
Who?
He ain't even in the top 10.
Who?
Nick Bosa.
He was hurt last year.
That's why he's not in the top 10.
Wait, duh. Anything else?
Nick Bosa got...
I'm not in the NFL either.
Nick Bosa got 13 sacks his rookie year. 4th since the turn of the century all-time as far as rookies.
Yep.
Nick Bosa, 4 sacks in the playoffs, en route to a Super Bowl in a game in which he tremendously affected. I'm looking at this list. If potential, which they say is significant, I'm looking at who is more likely to have a bigger impact in big games over the course of their career. I'm not going to condemn Nick Bosa for getting hurt last year. I'm going to be an analyst and say, I'm going to be an analyst and say, wait a second. Who's more likely to have a bigger impact on bigger games over the course of their career, including Super Bowl games? To me, that's even Nick Bosa before I go Lamar Jackson. Because the way the Ravens lose Lamar Jackson right now, I don't see him going to a Super Bowl.
Now you got a conversation. Too bad we ran out of time. I've lost a lot of weight. You know why? I don't eat Cracker Jacks, especially when at the bottom of it.
No, because you're sweating.
Especially when
he be sweating.
Especially when at the bottom, the prize is Nick Bosa, who missed the whole damn season last year. Anyway, coming up, LeBron James. Speaking of sweating, caused controversy for tweeting, then deleting about a police shooting. We'll give you our thoughts on that. But first, wide receiver DeVonta Smith is only 166 pounds. Damn. We'll tell you if teams should be concerned heading towards the NFL draft. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Dog, next time, just say Lamar, dog.
Former Alabama wide receiver DeVonta Smith is expected to be the first-round pick in the draft next week. But his size is under a microscope. Smith, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, recently at a medical check-in in Indianapolis was measured at just over 6 feet tall, but only 166 pounds, according to reports. So, Marcellus, should the Heisman winner DeVonta Smith's weight be a concern? Because so many people are tripping out about the fact that he's over 6 foot, but only 166 pounds.
Nope, not at all. Not a concern. And it's almost counterintuitive. I understand that if you don't have experience at the NFL level, this is an easy one to miss. Statements like this, narratives like this probably are created by someone who didn't play. And then people who didn't play will like it and retweet it. And I'm not trying to play that card of like, I played and you didn't play, nah. I'm just telling you, it's calculus when you go out there on the football field. Let's talk about the most important variable when it comes to playing the game of football. Speed kills, brother. You can't hit what you can't catch. And I remember coming out in 1997. I was the 52nd number one pick in the second round. Guess who was number 12 that draft? Warwick Dunn. I remember talking to Warwick Dunn. One, I was a fan. Like, I went to Columbia. Yeah, you watched us on ABC Wide World of Sports, did you? No, me either. You saw Keith Jackson say, whoa, Columbia Nelly. No, nobody ever heard that, right? But I used to watch Warwick Dunn. Like, oh, my God, that's Warwick Dunn. I saw him, we working out and stuff. And I was like, people are saying that, you ain't going to make it at the NFL level because you're little. And we chopped it up, and that man let me understand how he sees the game. He looked at it as an advantage. The micro frames that he gets to see bigger, slower guys coming at him in, it's like those high-speed cameras, like a cannon. It's like, like, here I come trying to tackle Warwick Dunn. I'm coming to get you. And he's like, in this phone booth, no, you're not. And he said, I never take a clean hit. I see them all coming. On top of, little guys can contort their bodies, turn into Gumby, and they're just laughing at the bottom of the pile like, oh, you think you got a real clean shot on me. So that's one example. We know countless examples. I played against Marvin Harrison thousands of times. You can see AB out there right now. It's not your weight on a scale. It's your heart and the size of it. If you're not intimidated as a small player by your size, then guess what? We don't really possess an advantage to take advantage of your size. So I've been dispelled this myth. I've been known that this was a misnomer, that you could go out there and just grab guys and ragdoll them because of their weight. It's based on your technique. It's based on your mindset. It's based on your acumen, other things of the calculus equation, not just your weight.
Yeah, DeVonta Smith, at this point, his weight should be no concern. The NFL, it's kind of the age of the outlier, as I see it. And DeVonta Smith, his weight to some people is an outlier. But first, let me just make it plain and simple for y'all.
What?
Randy Moss was 6'3.5", 194. DeVonta Smith, 6 foot, 166. I was like, let me just figure out how many pounds do they weigh per inch? Because ain't no two people cut the exact same. Randy Moss is 2.5 pounds per inch, and DeVonta Smith is 2.3 pounds per inch. So you really think that 0.2 pounds per inch is that big a deal, NFL fans, NFL GMs? But nonetheless, it's back to me saying it's the year of the outlier. 2 of the last 3 number 1 overall picks, quarterbacks 6 foot and below. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. The most dangerous wide receiver in the NFL, most dangerous, not best, the most dangerous is a 5'9" wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. The best overall running back in the NFL is White. It's the year of the outlier.
What that is not the same physiologically.
It's the fact of we keep looking at like, oh, wait a second. Like, to be a quarterback, you got to be 6'5" and statuesque. Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback right now, and he's 6'2". He's not built like Peyton Manning. He's not built like Tom Brady. He's not built like Terry Bradshaw. You don't have to look or fit the build of the mold or the traditional because that's not the way the game is played anymore. And we've seen great players not look like former greats. But let's bring in a former great of our own, NFL analyst Greg Jennings. So, Greg, should DeVonta Smith's weight be a concern for NFL teams?
It has to be a concern. It simply has to be a concern. And as a receiver, I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, he's going to say absolutely not. But understanding this position, and I agree with almost everything that you both are saying. Marcellus, you're talking about, you know, knowing how to play the game. It's calculus and the acumen and just the intelligence that you have to have and the confidence that you have to have when you are undersized. And it can work into your advantage. However, as a receiver, and I believe that on that desk and over here, I'm the only one that's played that position. So when I look at that, when you are caught because you are smaller and the shiftiness didn't get you out of that little trap or that little double coverage or whatever, and they do catch you, the odds of you being injured heightened. That's the concern. It's not his talent. It's not his ability. Everybody knows he's a Heisman Trophy winner. We know he has talent. We know he can wreck a game. And I believe he's going to be a very special player. But if you are a general manager, if you are an organization and you're looking to draft this guy, you are going to be concerned about his size. Can he be sustainable? Can he endure those hits? If he does take those hits, when he doesn't elude that tackler, can he break tackles, or is he going to get down like Marvin Harrison? We've seen guys have tremendous amounts of success. Deshaun Jackson was a lot smaller. T.Y. Hilton currently even playing. Like there's guys that have done it like this. And I believe he's going to be a tremendous talent, but you have to be a bit concerned. I'll say this, and then I'll let you guys chime in because I know you will. There was a year that I came to Green Bay and I had just P90X was hitting, and I'm like, man, let me jump on this P90X. And I jumped all over P90X. And I went from 198 to 188. And I got to training camp, and I got up against Al Harris, and I went for that, and he put that one arm on me, and I felt like a feather. I was like, this ain't it right here. I got to put more weight on and get a little stronger. This P98, it looked good, but it ain't always good when you get caught.
Should we thank Al Harris for you now being in the weight room all the time right now? Because it seems like
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Sucker be in the weight room 8 days a week. I'm like, damn, Greg, slow down. Greg. I ain't like your take. Let me tell you, and I can't even talk about the title on your desk, which is wide receiver, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion wide receiver. Your experience is your expertise, but however, we all get caught. I don't give a damn what size you are. You play in the NFL, you're going to get caught.
True.
Don't think my 280-pound butt did get caught a couple times. Jonathan Ogden. I mean, you can hear the trucks backing up. Beep, beep. That was me getting pancaked. Never. Let's talk about this. It's a silly argument. He just won the Heisman Trophy in the SEC with all them grown men playing as kids. And now we're going to question if he's going to make it at the NFL level. Huh? Is there a better test in this world than going through the rigors of the SEC against those defenses, being slight and still passing with flying colors? No, sirree, Bob. This takes me back to why I was drafted ahead of Jason Taylor. And it was stupid. It was silly. I was looking at evaluators like, dog, did y'all watch Jason Taylor's film? Did y'all see him at the combine? This is how it went. It was a tale of two different careers. Jason Taylor dropped in the draft to third round. I remember when I met JT, he told me he had just got a Benz with his name in it because he's going first round. I was like, cool for you, bro. I don't know when I'm going. I don't trust these evaluators because I go to a small school. I weighed 271 at the combine, but listening to this myth, I kept getting bigger because I was like, they ain't going to talk bad about me. At my pro day a month later, I was 11 pounds bigger. And I jumped 39.5 inches. Acho, shut your trap. So here's the thing. I got bigger, faster, stronger. It sounded like a better sentence. I went second round. JT dropped from first round to third round. I don't know if he has the butt it takes to play against the run. Yeah, he can rush the passer, but he's weighing like 240. I don't think he can do it all. Boy, were y'all wrong. Sucker was out there tilting from hello. Don't get caught up in this myth, y'all. Like, we all gonna have to go through the pain of the NFL. It's the NFL. But to use a guy's weight on the scale instead of the ticker in his heart, man, you've done yourself a disservice.
Yo, here's what's wild to me. To your first point, Sale, about, he played at Alabama. The two highest rated cornerbacks in the draft. One is Patrick Surtain, cornerback from Alabama, who DeVonta Smith would have seen every day in practice. The other is J.C. Horn, cornerback, South Carolina in the SEC. DeVonta Smith saw J.C. Horn 2019. He saw that South Carolina squad. He had 136 receiving yards and 2 tugs in that game. But he also had 60 receiving yards against J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn's 30 games, he never allowed more than 50 yards to any other receiver besides DeVonta Smith. So if you're doing that against 2 top 15 cornerbacks, one on a daily basis in practice, you're probably going to work on to some degree, and another the one time you saw him, then why you don't think he can do it at the NFL? But furthermore, I got to get my own weight story, Sal, because people don't realize this.
What?
I weighed 238 at the combine for the same reason like you. I ain't going to let them talk bad about my weight. He's not going to be one of these light linebackers. Bruh, 2 days later, running the 40, I weighed 229. I cut 9 pounds in 2 days, hence why I pulled my quad, one of the dumbest decisions I've ever made in my life. All that to say, y'all be reading in too much in the weight. You chug a couple muscle milks before a weigh-in, I'm 9 pounds or 8 pounds heavier in 2 days. DeVonta Smith's weight don't mean nothing.
So here's the thing. I never have I said out of my mouth that his talents won't translate to the NFL game. I truly believe in this young man. I think he's going to be a special player. However, when you look at the landscape of the draft, what is the number one thing that they do? They pick you up. They find a reason to devalue you in some fashion. And we look at this draft right here. We just take the landscape of this 2021 draft. There's 2 players that we probably can't do that with. That is Trevor Lawrence and Kyle Pitts. Outside of that, you're going to pick apart every single player in this draft, every other quarterback, every receiver. You're going to say what they lack, what their weaknesses are, why won't we draft them at number 3 or 4 or 5? But if you decide to take that risk, it's like being an investor. You got some investors that high risk, low risk, medium risk. Whoever decides to take that risk, they have an opportunity to hit the jackpot with DeVonta Smith. But his size is going to be a factor because that's what the league is. They're going to look at a way to where they can label you as undersized or slow or overweight so that your value diminishes. That is what the NFL does to every single player. He's no different, but he is a special talent.
And that's why they miss on so many prospects, because they're out there looking at who's the biggest, who's the fastest, who's the strongest, who looks the best in tank tops and shorts. And I know where it comes from. It comes from the box you have to check when you talk to ownership. Don't forget, owners travel around the world, and this is their hobby business. They made their money doing something else. They say, oh, on the side, let's own an NFL team. And then when they land on that NFL team in that facility, they want to hear from their evaluators, their GMs, did you get the big one? Did you get the fast guy? Did you get the strong guy? Because why? When they go to their country club, ain't nobody trying to hear about no little dude. They all want to hear about, oh, you got him? Oh, you guys are going to be amazing. And that's what fuels this ignorance. We are all sitting here, different testimonies of the same thing. It's about your game, dog, not how much you weigh. Coming up, LeBron sparked controversy over tweeting, then deleting about a police shooting. We'll give you our thoughts on that next on Speak for Yourself. LeBron James posted and later deleted a tweet yesterday about the fatal shooting of 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant. The original tweet had a photo of the officer, who was white, and read, "You're next, #accountability." Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas said, quote, "LeBron James is inciting violence against an Ohio police officer. This is disgraceful and dangerous." LeBron explained why he deleted the tweet. Quote, "I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer. It's about the entire system. They always use our words to create more racism. I'm so desperate for more accountability." So, Acho, what's your reaction to LeBron deleting his tweet on the police shooting?
We call spades on this show, man. Yes. We don't sugarcoat. We keep it a buck with y'all, keep it a buck with ourselves. LeBron was wrong. Simple. What's your reaction? He's wrong. Okay, great. Now, let's talk about the ramifications, right? I think that we all kind of think that Twitter sometimes is like a group text, like a private group text, or we think it's like we just in our living room having a conversation. And for so many people, it is. You only got 9, 10 followers. Ain't nobody really worried about what you're saying. But when you're LeBron James and you have 50 million followers, you're the 25th most followed account on that platform, that comes with a little bit more responsibility. You don't have the luxury of being wrong. You don't have the luxury of tweeting emotionally. You don't have the luxury of tweeting before you watch. You just don't have luxuries, LeBron James, that other people have. I can kind of be wrong. People still gonna come in my head. But a person with a less of a following, they can surely be wrong and they gonna be all right. But LeBron, unfortunately for you, you don't have that luxury. We all know the quote, with great power comes great responsibility. It's the same thing with LeBron James on Twitter. He was wrong. There's really no way to sugarcoat that. And I think very simply, man, it's a matter of, we're very emotional right now as a society, and rightfully so. If you're not emotional, check your emotions, because if you can watch people be shot and not have some sort of visceral reaction, that's probably not healthy. This is not Call of Duty. This is not a video game. This is real life. You should not normalize the death of anyone, and you especially should not normalize the death of young children and young teenagers, regardless of the color of their skin. So you should be emotional right now if you are taking in what is going on in our country. However, you can't jump to Twitter with your emotions, because you can't afford to be wrong, particularly if you're LeBron James.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, in the beginning, he was wrong, dead wrong in terms of coming out here and saying what he said. Let's start here. I want to actually pray that his profoundness matches the power of his platform. I say it again. His profoundness will one day match the power of his platform. You basically said that, like, dog, you can't do this. You can't be that irresponsible if you're LeBron James, because you have that much power. And we all know when you get that type of power, the responsibility comes with it. The accountability that was deleted in that tweet is ironic. Like, to put up #accountability, which is something that we all need right now in this moment. Accountability on all sides with all people, whether you're talking about the police officers, whether you're talking about the individuals in this situation, or even the victim in this situation. We're going to have to start umbrellaing every situation with accountability, not just rooting interests. And that's what's interesting about this. LeBron James, in terms of what he does for his day job, being a basketball player, second best at worst ever, maybe the GOAT. It's amazing. There's one glaring critique on his resume that he defers in critical times. Damn, I wish that was true in this moment. When it's a real issue, not just basketball wins and losses and points scored. When it's real life issues, where's the deferring? Where's the difference? In that moment, LeBron, until all the facts come out, till you watch the video, till you come out and see what's right from wrong in this situation, he should have passed in this moment. Mm-hmm. You know, people always say, and I'm not agreeing with that, shut up and dribble. Nah, just shh and pass. Wait for it to come, and then you'll be able to see things clearer. But this is what happens when you want to be first, not right. And he has that platform. He has that power. He has those followers. And he knows that those people are listening for every single word that he's going to profess. So it's crazy. You said check your emotions if you're not emotional. I'm going to check them. Because emotions can't trump logic. And that's what's happening. Your agenda can't go before your acumen. You can't pander before your principles. And right now, even if you get all the likes and all the retweets, you know what I say about social media. Man, I am tired of people always going out there for likes and followers. Where's the love in the leaders? And LeBron James, in so many respects, God, you're well-intended. In so many respects, God, you do the greatest in what you touch and in endeavors, opening in schools, et cetera. We know his charitable contributions, how big his heart is. But you can't forget up here. Because the statement goes like this. I don't care how smart you are if you don't stop and think. LeBron James, he failed in that moment. Because LeBron James, I would say, is smart. I mean, you can say what you want about his educational background.
LeBron is genius.
The
genius, like business-wise.
Yeah, business-wise, yeah. Certain lanes, LeBron James is smart. Don't give a damn how smart you are if you don't stop and think. This is a moment that he regrets, and I think that his ego, I think that LeBron James was selfless enough to say, oh, this is hurting more than it's helping in this situation, so let me retract.
Yeah, like you and I are on the same page. We both started both of our statements with LeBron was wrong. I'm not one of them dudes that just mindlessly gets up here and tries to defend ignorance. He was wrong. Now, what I'm not going to let other people do, at least not without me combating it, is I'm not going to let one LeBron James wrong undermine a whole bunch of good. Because that's what so many people try to do.
Let's go.
And that's why I'm like, LeBron, if you give them a reason to discredit you, they will do it. The people waiting, LeBron, just waiting for one ill-advised tweet, waiting for you to just make one mistake so they can say, see, I told you, LeBron's an idiot. See, I told you he shouldn't be speaking on these matters. So to use a hyperbolic, less serious example, it's kind of like you can't hit a home run unless you take a swing. And in so many instances, LeBron James has hit home runs. I promise, school. LeBron James has hit home runs more than a vote. We saw a greater voter turnout among so many different demographics this year than we ever have. In large part, I would say, to LeBron James's campaign and what the athletes and so many notable figures in our society started to raise and implement. LeBron James has hit so many home runs. He struck out here. He struck out here. And you can't afford to strike out if you're LeBron James. However, you have to be cognizant. I'm cognizant of the fact that it will happen. But if we gonna call a spade, like, LeBron, you got to understand the implications of this mistake.
Yes.
Just like cops have to understand the implications of mistaking a taser for a gun, which is lethal, which we just saw take a life. LeBron, you got to understand, big dog, like, hey, people are emotional right now. And people are looking at your words and just waiting for somebody to hype them up to further their emotional state. So when you tweet this picture of a cop who was, by all accounts, protecting and serving.
Yes.
Now, him both protecting and serving did unfortunately cost Ma'Khia Bryant her life. But the cop was, in that instance, protecting and serving. Like, LeBron, if you are going to put this man's face out here and say you're next, or whatever the implication was, you're next is obviously saying what we just saw with the Derek Chauvin trial of like, hey, big dog, Bron, you got to be cognizant of what you are also inciting. And you may just be inciting people's emotions to continue to lead them down a potentially wrong track. All I'm going to say is this. Whether y'all think LeBron is right or wrong, at least do the research for yourself so you can cast your own opinion.
Fact.
And the problem is, too many people, they just start, what LeBron say? Oh, he said he next? Yeah, I'm going to retweet that one because he next. Can y'all at least do your own research? I'm going to tell myself that I'm going to shut up.
Oh, here we go.
I was watching, as soon as the trial ended, I was watching the Ma'Khia Bryant videos, and I started to get emotional, like, man, another hashtag, another life lost. And I was ready to fire off a tweet, fire off an Instagram post, make my own video. Then I said, let's kick back. Let's get some more information out here. Then I watched another video, Stella. It was another woman who created a video. How could you take this young girl's life? Now I'm getting even more emotional. I'm ready to tweet. I was like, let's wait for some more information. Then I see the body cam video. And I was like, wait a second now. Wait a second, y'all. Like, come on now. Like, what did you want this officer to do in this instance? He's seeing a life about to be taken, and he's there protecting and serving. I don't know what you wanted him to do in this instance. So I said, I'm going to kick back. I'm going to chill. I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to wait to digest some more information before I go out there, knowing that so many people look at my words, and I'm not near LeBron James.
Right.
I'm going to chill, digest some information before I say anything.
And that's the pace in which you have to digest all these things, because so much information is out there, and so many of those who are giving you that information have their own agendas and giving you just that slice of information. Remember, there are three sides to every story: your side, their side, and the truth that meets somewhere in the middle. And I get the pull. I get why LeBron James wants to be first, and right, of course, but first, because when you ignore ignorance, you're just as ignorant. And he doesn't want to ignore bad situations. But it takes me back to who he's compared to, Michael Jordan, when there was a lot of sentiments about him saying, basically, he'd rather be criticized for what he doesn't say than for what he does say, because he took a different pace to these situations. And I'm not glorifying his pace as well. But in this moment, come on, who in the hell is looking at this situation any different? The cop has an impossible choice, which is to save a life, I'm going to have to take a life. And it's just that simple. Like, I get what we want to say, but this happened over here, but that ain't this. Yeah. I'm talking about right here. And when you're that powerful, LeBron, you have that platform, you have to stay in that play, to use basketball terms. You have to stay in that vacuum. It's just interesting when that happens. But LeBron James, man, it's been a lot of missteps, man. And I'm not going to balance it out because I think the good outweighs the bad, certainly. But LeBron James has to understand, man. He goes out there and says, well, you know, we live in two different Americas. I don't believe that America's divided. I just think we're different. And right now, it's getting highlighted more so than ever, so it's getting exaggerated. LeBron says he's scared to leave his house. Why? What? I'm not scared to leave my house, and I'm not LeBron James. I'm not enamored like LeBron James. He's scared to leave his house? We could have that conversation another day. LeBron James, in this tweet, what does he say? Oh, man, the system. The system. The same system that is so broken it allowed you to become a billionaire and never get arrested in it. But the system is broken. Are you speaking for other people? We have enough people out here telling us what not to do, what goes wrong. How about somebody who has made it? Single parent. LeBron James, he went to 10 different homes, moving around Ohio his entire childhood. I would love to hear that story of how you became LeBron James against all odds, instead of always professing the odds are against all people. So it's just a situation where I think it's a little more responsibility necessary for LeBron.
But I guess in defense of LeBron, you would have to look at the aspect of he's trying to still empathize. LeBron James is richer than the majority of America.
Yeah.
And LeBron James is definitely, statistically, richer than the majority of America that looks like him. The majority of a black America. Right? Like, he's
all America.
I started there.
Okay.
I started there, but like you told me maybe 2 months ago on this show, first billionaire in this country, you said what, 1916?
Man, damn, I told you then.
1916, and then I think first black billionaire, 2002. Yeah. I think there's you said like 2001. There's like 85-year, 75-year age gap. Right. So LeBron James is definitely richer than the majority of America. Then he's definitely richer than the majority of black America, statistically speaking. Ain't no opinions up here right now. So with that being said, LeBron James could easily navigate life like, shoot, I don't know what to tell y'all broke folks. Shit, I ain't got it for you. That ain't me no more. I'm breaded up. Everywhere I go, I fly private. Everything I do, they cater to me. I'm LeBron James. I'm the king. My kids go to the best school. I live in a gated community now. All that. But I actually applaud LeBron at times for stepping out of his own shoes and saying, you know what? I did make it, but I'm not so far removed to where I can't still empathize with what I had to go through, to where I can't still empathize with how this system is different. Now, there are two systems at play. LeBron James' athleticism is what made him a millionaire. LeBron James' athleticism is what has made him, a billionaire. LeBron James' athleticism is what allowed him to trump a system, because athleticism and entertainment will always make room for you. If you are uber athletic or you are uber entertaining, there will always be room for you. And that's where LeBron James was able to find his room. But in the same breath, I respect LeBron for still being able to empathize, Sal. Like, that's just me. No, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. You feel me?
But I know why he empathizes. I love LeBron James. You know, I think he's the GOAT. So don't get me started on this. But you got to look before you leap. In anything in life, I don't give a damn if you're rich, poor, or ugly. You got to look before you leap. LeBron just leaped in this one because he knew his followers would catch him. And that's a problem. And you know why he did it? LeBron told on himself. No one, it seems like every time I bring up one of my favorite shows ever is Survivor's Remorse, created by LeBron James, talking about a basketball player who made it, who went over with his empathy, over-empathized, and was creating all the issues in this world. It's an amazing show. I don't even know if it runs anymore, but I used to watch it faithfully. And that's what LeBron James is kind of reaching out to show you guys. Like, I love the empathy. I have empathy. Who doesn't have empathy? But you can't go to the point where you're now misguided, or you're lying to the people who are looking at you for leadership. I give it to you like this. One, your skin is not your sin. So when people start saying, well, entertainment and athletics, and other lanes, you know, I know two brothers intimately that will laugh at all of the success I've ever had in entertainment and sports. They like, dog, that is broke status. One runs a hedge fund and the other one is chief financial officer. These dudes are majorly paid, and they get none of the platform. They get none of the notoriety. We're over here now having our kids grow up in a world where they're going to know victims' names before they know professors' names and wise scholars like Thomas Sowell or something like that. But here's the sentence. Tell me how you feel about this sentence. LeBron James says, I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. With that platform. How about this sentence? Instead of that, I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed. A little different. How about this sentence? Even more idealistic. I'm so damn tired of just seeing people killed. That's what I'm just hoping for LeBron James, that level of evolution and enlightenment. And I'm not seeing it.
But here's the kicker, Sel. It's almost like if somebody's like, I'm so tired of people dying from breast cancer. Well, how about I'm so tired of people dying from cancer? Or how about I'm so tired of people dying? LeBron James is specifically highlighting something right now that, yes, we could always push back and say, well, LeBron, let's go from micro to macro. Like, let's not talk about people dying from police. Let's talk about people dying, or let's talk about people. But he's focusing on something right now that is specific. The Ma'Khia Bryant was specific. The George Floyd was specific. Dante Wright, we saw that last week. That was specific. So, yes, LeBron James could go macro, but when you're trying to solve a micro issue, you gotta speak to the micro. Like the COVID issue right now, we're all trying to solve. Like, yes, we could talk about, I'm so tired of viruses. I'm so tired of flus. But it's like, we tired of COVID. I'm tired of COVID right now. I'm also tired of the flu.
Yeah, but
right now I'm talking about this virus that we got to get checked for every time we come in the studio. That's the one I'm tired of.
But in the misstep, I can't excuse that. In the misstep, like we harp on a play in a football game, and we will spend a whole show on that. But then on this, because we like LeBron, and he's wrapped in so much love because we not only respect his game, but his commitment to his family, to his community, blah, blah, blah. But the irresponsibility that shows in the micro makes me say, be responsible about the macro. Like, dog, 250 black people killed by police every year. That's 250 too many people. But in the macro sense, there's 7,500 homicides to black people every single year as well. I'm not saying, LeBron, you got to put the focus on that fully, but let's be responsible. We're going to just go in there and say, I want to save 250 people, which we all do. But there's 7,500 in totality that never gets the discussion because the people with the platform are not highlighting that. And that's, look, I grew up trying to navigate around that. I am not scared of the police, brother. I wasn't then, I'm not now. You know what? I've just been scared because I've been hearing haunting images and seeing haunting images of just getting killed, period. Black people, white people, anybody killing me. That's That's been more definite for me than this.
Here's my thing, Brett, because people run me hot when they say this. Like,
what's that?
Don't tell the person with the platform what they have to care about.
You just did.
Meaning, no, I'm not going to be mad at LeBron for what he cares about. But I'm not going to be like, well, LeBron, I need you to care about that too. And I need you to care about that too. And I need you to care about that too. But what about this? Like, LeBron James.
He said black people.
LeBron James
killed everywhere.
LeBron James is currently speaking about black people being killed by police. All right, now, I could be like, all right, LeBron, I need you to speak about the genocide going on in Nigeria. I need you to speak about that too. But LeBron would be like, I'm talking about this right now. How about you go speak about that, Acho? Okay, you're right. Like, that's where I'm just like, because so many people still will be like,
hey, I want to run you hot then. I want to run you hot because you're talking to me.
Go ahead. But I'm talking to the tweets too.
But in love, it's not like I've never tweeted at LeBron. I'm not retweeting this and condemning him because no one wins in this. LeBron feels bad about this. That police officer feels hella bad. That family that had to see their baby die, bad. I'm not the one that's going to call smoke on that. I'm just trying to say, look, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. If we're not going to talk about it, then move on and talk about it.
What's it?
The it is there's an issue right now in family structure. There's an issue in community structure. There's an issue in accountability that he took down a tweet about accountability. We want one-sided accountability. Why you do this to me? We don't want to talk about the situation in fullness.
But don't you think that society has given us accountability on the other side?
Dog, we just got the Grammy song going on. Like, it's time to get up off the stage. It's the biggest star, and we talking about one of the biggest situations right now. But we can go all day on this. Unfortunate circumstances, obviously, and we just send out our thoughts and prayers to the families, all of the families affected by this. Coming up, does the D in Dallas need to stand for defense? We'll tell you if that's the Cowboys' biggest question mark. Next, don't speak for yourself. Who wants to speak for yourself? Marcel Wiley, Wiley Acho. Let's head to Dallas. Mike McCarthy said after his disappointing first season in Dallas that the focus of change would definitely be on defense. Well, changes appear to be happening. Dallas hired Dan Quinn as their new defensive coordinator, and the majority of their free agent signings are defensive players. Dallas Morning News said, quote, this defense can't be fixed in one offseason, but it must make significant strides. Oh, Greg is back with us, but Acho, is defense the Cowboys' biggest question mark?
Not at all, fellas. The Cowboys' biggest question mark is their head coach. Plain and simple.
You lost us.
In every profession, you can lose it. In every profession, you can fall off. In every profession, you can be over the hill. Specifically in football, quarterbacks, they ain't got it no more. Receivers, man, they lost some speed. Pass rushers, man, they just don't have the same ball get-off that they used to. A general manager, man, they can't identify talent like they used to. Even corporate, CEO, they've just gone out of times with the trends. They don't know how to keep up with this day and age of social media. However, it seems as though the one profession in all professions, head coaches, if they've ever been good, they will always be good. Let me drop a fact that will hurt the feelings of my dearly beloved Marcellus and Greg Jennings.
Good luck.
13 NFL coaches have won multiple Super Bowls. But never have any of those 13 coaches had more than one losing season in between Super Bowls. You can win multiple Super Bowls. You can. You've seen it 13 times. But never has a coach who's won multiple had more than one losing season in between. Mike McCarthy is on his 4th losing season now. He's currently had 3 losing seasons. So if you can be over the hill as a quarterback, be over the hill as a running back, as a wide receiver, be over the hill as a general manager, maybe, just maybe, Mike McCarthy's over the hill as a head coach. And that is the Cowboys' biggest question mark.
How long did it take you to find some research like that and have everybody digging that up? Wow. Oh, man, it is their defense. It's definitely their defense. We know what they are on offense. We know that they're going to be able to score a lot of points. But defensively, when you go back to 2019, when Rod Marinelli was their defensive coordinator, they weren't a terrible defense. They finished 9th in total defense. So they were effective in a 4-3 scheme. DeMarcus Lawrence had his hand in the dirt versus standing up on the edge in the 3-4 scheme, which Mike Nolan then implemented in 2020. So it disrupted what they were building on prior to Mike McCarthy even taking over as the head coach. And so when I look at this defense, now you got a coach who's making decisions, who doesn't, even if he was over the hill, he better know how to find some who aren't, who are going to be up on the times. And that's what Mike McCarthy is trying to do. He's bringing in Dan Quinn, a guy who's had success defensively on that side of the ball, running a 4-3 scheme, something that he saw when he first took the job that worked for the Dallas Cowboys, but he let his ego kind of get in front of him and made some decisions and disrupted what was already working. So I know that the defense is something that they're going to focus on, and it has been their Achilles heel. Now, they do have to do some things offensively, but defensively, they just got to get better, even when it comes to personnel. It's not just solely on the coaching, because we all know coaches can draw up all kinds of schemes and plays, but the players are what makes it work.
Go ahead, Greg. Yeah, and they say I'm a contrarian. What the hell was Acho talking about its own coach? You mean, what, a Super Bowl champion coach? What, are there only 9 active head coaches that have won Super Bowl championships?
Greg weighed 188 back then, Marcellus. He's like 220 now. Wow, that was 40 pounds ago.
Yeah, but he's also not trying to play football anymore. Mike McCarthy is trying to coach, damn it. And he's trying to coach with his quarterback in tow. And healthy. Oh, his quarterback is healthy this year. Yes, because when his quarterback was healthy last year, the Dallas Cowboys averaged 32.6 points a game. You know what that would have been if he would have just stayed healthy and just kept being average? 32.6 points a game average. That would have led the NFL in scoring. Let me tell you why that matters. Because the teams that led the NFL in scoring, 1 through 9, all were playoff teams. Let's go even further. Let's dig deeper than that. Are you an outcast? Top 3 teams made the championship game. And the 4th team was number 6 in scoring offense, and that would be the Kansas City Chiefs. So basically, if you got you a scoring offense, all you need is a little bit of defense, and you got something there. Because I remind you, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs had the 17th ranked defense. And then last year they lost in the Super Bowl with the 16th ranked defense. We're not talking about being top 10 in terms of defense. We're just saying, just be average on that other side of the ball, Dallas Cowboys. Not historically bad. So with Dak Prescott back healthy, all they need to do is say, hey, we got a Super Bowl champion coach. We got a quarterback that can put up numbers. Defense, hold up your end of the bargain, and we can make some noise.
Greg Jennings, you play spades, big dog? Card game? You play spades?
Absolutely.
My dog. Sel kind of plays spades. At least he knows how it goes.
They say I give up butt.
Books.
Books.
Not
okay.
butt.
Well, I don't play that. Whoa. That went there. That's what.
Yeah.
That's why I don't play spades. I ain't talking to you. That's what I thought you said.
Back on track. Giving up books. Not to be confused with anything else on this show.
Yes.
G, and you know when you play in spades, big dog, if you lay out the high spade and you know you've won, but then your partner come out here and trump you or play out a good card unnecessarily, it's like, yo, we had already won.
What you doing?
You're undermining my success.
I do that.
That's what they mean when they say you give up books, Marcel. It's like you undermining my success.
I got a good card.
That's what Mike McCarthy does as head coach. Cowboys fought hard against the Rams week 1 last year. Mike McCarthy, he had the opportunity to kick the game-tying field goal. He passes on doing that. And then he goes for it on 4th down, and you saw how that squandered and how the Cowboys lose that game. Week 2 against the Atlanta Falcons, Cowboys played good enough and still found a way to win. But Mike McCarthy, 2 fake punts, 2 of them? One at your 29-yard line, the other at your own 40-yard line, undermining my success. Mike McCarthy, week 3 against the Seattle Seahawks. Y'all remember that time management in the 4th quarter? Mike McCarthy was taking timeouts home with him like it was a to-go meal. Like, Mike McCarthy, what you doing, big dog? You're undermining my success. The only question I will ask you all is this. Again, I said 13 coaches, multiple Super Bowls. Y'all think Mike McCarthy is more like Joe Gibbs, Bill Walsh, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick? Or is he more like Brian Billick, Doug Peterson, Gary Kubiak, coaches that have won a Super Bowl and never won another? You just tell me what bucket you think Mike McCarthy falls in. He falls in the one-and-done bucket. That's all I got to say.
A lot of those instances that you talk about, going for it instead of kicking the field goal or the fake punts? What was he doing? What was the intent? Oh, I believe it was to put the ball back into the hands of my offense, which I can trust because Marcellus just laid it out. They were the #1 scoring offense in the league. So it only makes sense as a head coach to do what best fits and suits our team and our opportunities for winning. I don't know. I'm not a genius. You wrote the book. You're an author. Marcellus, you're an author. I mean, hey, sometimes you got to just look at it for what it is. It's really right in front of you. This team needs to improve with the
Here's the thing, G. You got him, G. You got him.
Always on
but
the coaching,
G,
my friend.
you just said you knew spades, big dog. You just said you knew spades. If you already got a win in hand, what I want to go play and win for? We already got a win in hand, G. Mike McCarthy. The issues that he was making, G, were selfish, but they were selfishly hurting the team. Oh, let me run a fake punt to get the ball back to my offense. Mike McCarthy, I understand what you're selfishly trying to do, but like spades, G, it's a team game. I don't need to try to go out there and win every book myself as if I'm playing by myself. Cowboys have an offense. They have a special teams unit. They have a defense. Sound like you a selfish spades player. Remind me to find another partner.
Wow. That's how he gonna treat you, G. I love when he repeats it, too. G, you told me you were a spades player. You told me you could play spades. But then he ain't got nothing to say after that. He just repeated himself twice. Because, look, if you give me a Super Bowl champion coach, and then you give me a quarterback that can go out there, never have a losing season when healthy, and also have the #1 scoring offense, I know where I got to go if I'm the head coach. I need to go into that defensive room, and I'm saying, hey, Dan Quinn, get this thing right. Just be around mid-pack, 15, 16, 17, and let's go make some noise. Coming up, Steph Curry on the shot, boy, says he's got to be the MVP. We'll tell you if it's a good look to campaign for the award. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Now, Steph Curry had his 11-game streak with at least 30 points snapped last night in the Warriors' loss to the Wizards. Steph only scored 18 points on 25 shots. Yeah. But he called his hot streak, quote, a special ride. He's currently 4th in MVP odds, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. But if Steph had a vote, it would go his way. Y'all take a listen.
Are you the MVP this year?
I mean, I gotta be.
Okay. All right.
I probably won't get it, but I mean, whatever.
No, don't say that.
Keep going like this, that nobody will be able to.
I'm just setting
keep this going.
I like to be dramatic sometimes, so I'm just setting the table.
So, Sales, is it a good or bad look that Steph campaigned for his 3rd MVP?
It's both. It's a good and bad look, but I get it. Steph caught up in between like I'm caught up in between. You got in this culture right now that is about clout chasing for the followers that has been created, you got to do stuff like this. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. I get it. But at the same time, it's kind of weird. It's a tug of war because us from the old school or people who grew up in the old school, before the social media, before you had to go out there and declare yourself the best, that others would do it for you, you're feeling that world shift. And I think Steph Curry got caught up in the middle of it. No longer actions speak louder than words. It's now tweets talk louder than actions. I mean, for real. Like, if you don't pop off, people don't think you popping. Like, for real.
That's real.
Dog, that's real. That's my boy. I told you about Seaway. My boy Seaway, check me. I owe you a phone call too, big dog. I'm sorry, brother, but I got too many kids. Anyway, Seaway was like, dog, you know that you have been away from the block, away from the hood in terms of living and circumstances more than you were on it. You're 46 now. You've been rich for 25 years, and you grew up adverse conditions for 21 years. Some kids don't know you. Kids ain't trying to hear that. They don't know about all the stories that you and I chop up. And you be like, damn, so you had that? Yeah, I did that. But I don't walk around like that. And then I get forgotten. And Steph Curry like, hey, in case you forgot, I'm over here giving people buckets. So I get the tug of war that he got caught up in between.
If you don't pop off, people think you ain't popping. That's real. And in all honesty, you can almost take it a step further because perception is to a degree reality. So if you don't pop off, you might not be popping. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, you almost have to. It's unfortunate, but it's an unfortunate truth. Good or bad look, it's a necessary look that Steph Curry had to campaign for a 3rd MVP. Sal, your boy was trying to go to dinner last night. I was trying to. I didn't end up going. Why didn't I end up going? Because I was looking at different websites, and I wanted to go to this one spot. It looked fire, but it had a dress code. Had a dress code. You had to wear a certain attire, like button downs and all this other stuff. And I was like, see, even if you get dressed, you might look good, you might look bad, but to go to that restaurant, it was necessary. And that's why I feel like with this Steph Curry situation, it was a necessary look. I'm not going to call it good or bad, but it fit the build for what had to happen. I got to remind y'all, got to remind myself, humans vote on this award, not computers, humans, flawed humans, flawed human mentalities. They vote on this award. Remember, AD was omitted on an all-NBA team list, all 3 NBA team lists by voters, by a voter last year. So, like, it's real humans who can make real mistakes. So Steph Curry's like, hey, I'm going to do my best to make sure y'all don't make no mistakes. I should win the MVP. I probably won't, but I'm at least do my part to try to cover for human error because we all make mistakes. Well, we got to bring in Slick Rick. He don't really make a ton of mistakes, I'll be honest. But what's up, Slick? Is it a good or bad look that Steph campaigned for his 3rd NBA MVP?
Well, it's certainly a good look that you guys are taking the track that you are because you're right on it, although you didn't answer the question, so that's a bad look on that end. Necessary look. It's good or bad, not necessary. It's a great look because it's in keeping with who Steph Curry is. He wasn't campaigning. He was joking. He knows how this works. He knows how the media, when he answers this question, however he answers it, he knows it's going to blow up. He knows he won't win the MVP. He knows he can't win the MVP. And he damn well knows he shouldn't win the MVP. But let's have some fun with it. I mean, that's why he said, look, I gotta win it. And then it was, you know, I like to be dramatic sometimes, and so I'm just setting the table. For what? For us to talk about it and for us people to go, ooh, is it good or bad? Is it real or is it not real? This is the same guy who, when he warms up, give me a little flavor of Steph Curry. This is what we know Steph Curry for as much as anything else. Now, is this a guy who's all about, let me tell you, I'm the MVP, I gotta be the MVP? Or is this a guy who just loves to have fun and knows that there's value in having fun? Because this is the one element that you guys hit that I think is valid, which is that he has to think like he's the MVP. He has to operate like he's the MVP because he has this Warriors team that doesn't have a chance of even making the playoffs if he's not operating and thinking and playing at an MVP level. So the mindset of trying to be an MVP is very real, but he also realizes how this game is played and knows that it's not. And so he's on a podcast with Rex Chapman and says, you know what, let me have a little fun with it because people are going to have fun with it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he was having fun with it, but like you said, what's engineering this, what's really driving this is the fact that in this world today, you have to do these type of things to cause attention, to bring attention to your greatness, or people just won't even deem it great. And that's what's crazy about it. Like, Steph Curry's the best shooter of all time. You say that, somebody already want to throw somebody else's name in there, and you're like, okay. And then Steph Curry's like, all right, let me make a mockery of how well I shoot by going to half court or going underneath, you know, tunnel 1A and just shooting 90-footers and like, yeah, where was that at 20, 30 years ago? Like, it's just so crazy, man. I feel the same thing in all facets of life, bro. Man, these little kids be out here trying to check me sometimes, and I just look at them, I stare. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say in response, but what have you ever done for the community, Marcellus? I was like, oh, I ain't did that much, you know. But if you want to go through NFL players in terms of their commitment to their community, name another player that won the Walter Payton Man of the Year 1, 2, 3 times like your boy did. See, I just did what Steph Curry just did. And now everybody's like, oh, he did do stuff for the community. Well, I got to say that. Y'all should already know that. And that's what's crazy. They just want to come up to you and snipe you if you don't say stuff like this. Heller said it best, John Heller, producer. He said, it's almost like your social media account has to be a fan account of yourself now. Like, you got to actually run your account like, okay.
Heller said that?
Heller said that. I don't want
everything
credit for
good
that.
Marcellus says, Heller says.
No.
Slick,
No, everything I do and everything I say. Heller is in charge of me. Pull the string. So here's the thing. No, in all seriousness, and that's why, man, I'll be looking at these accounts, I listen to these guys, and sometimes you just want to say, hey, here's the megaphone, me too. And that's what Steph Curry did in this moment. He just grabbed the megaphone and said, hey.
Did Heller tell you to go to break?
No, he wants to?
Yeah.
Okay. Coming up, Acho got a string, too. The Eagles have some very interesting methods for their draft prep. I want to tell you how much faith we have in Philly. That's next on Speak for Yourself. But you got something else to say, Slick? Go to social media. Sunday on Fox, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Talladega Superspeedway for the Geico 500. High-speed action starts Sunday at 2 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Let's head to Philly. The Eagles have the 12th pick in the first round of next week's draft, and their general manager said their draft history has not always been perfect. You think? He added, quote, "It's an inexact science. We're constantly striving to do better." Well, new head coach Nick Sirianni is using a very interesting method for his draft prep. Take a listen.
I think some of you guys are wondering, like, what game? We didn't go earth-shattering on these games, right? I played a couple of them at rock, paper, scissors, right? That was as easy as that. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's see how competitive you are. I'm competitive. I'm going to be talking trash to him. Did you talk trash back to me, right?
Acho. That's all, folks. How much faith do you have in the Eagles right now? You ready?
I'm dying.
You ready to play back?
I'm
in
dying,
the NFL?
big dog. I'm dying.
What the hell?
Like Eagles, y'all know I done rock with y'all for years. For years. But I ain't got no faith in the Eagles right now. I have no faith in the Eagles. The Eagles coach doesn't have faith in his quarterback. And his quarterback doesn't have faith in management. It's real simple. Like, I ain't got no faith in the coach because the coach ain't got faith in the quarterback because he can't name a quarterback one, and the quarterback doesn't have faith in management because management has completely ruined the quarterback position over the last 2 years. It's a cluster of doubt at One NovaCare Way in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's a cluster of doubt right now at that city, at the Lincoln Financial Field. It's a cluster of doubt, Sal. Where am I supposed to put my faith? And a first-year head coach is trying to play rock, paper, scissors to figure out how he should draft a prospect. A general manager, my guy, Howie Roseman, a friend of mine.
Say it with your chest. Say it.
Who's trying to deduce his quarterback position. Am I supposed to put faith in the quarterback who was 1-3 as a starter and is going on his second year and his fifth game as a starter when the season starts? If he starts, where am I supposed to put faith in Fletcher Cox, a 31 or 30-year-old defensive tackle? Brandon Graham, my dog, but he's a 32, 33-year-old defensive end, although just made his first Pro Bowl. Shout out to him. Zach Ertz, my dog, but he's 30 years old at tight end, and I don't even think he wants to be there. He probably should go couple up with his boy Carson Wentz. Where do I put my faith? Right now, I would just be clinging on hope, grasping for straws, and I ain't one to grasp for no straws.
Man, stop. You think you funny. Where do I put my faith?
Where?
Paper. The hell you doing, Nick Sirianni? Ain't nobody playing them games with you. I wouldn't have compromised my draft position if I were coming in the draft and he did this with me. But, if I were a veteran on that team, nah, dog, I don't play that game like that. That's not telling you if I could play the game of football. What the hell are you doing? You must be a gimmick thinking that gimmick's going to tell you something about how I want to play the game of football. You just asked me, do I play spades? Nope. You asked me, do I play paddle tennis? Nope. I don't like games like I don't like sitting. I go to Vegas. I'm like, why y'all sitting at the table so damn long? You know where we can go. The club. Like, that's my thing. Like, that's not telling you jack. All I need to know is, will you run down this field with your hair on fire and knock the snot out of somebody? What game is that? Watching them play the game of football. This is so silly. An organization, like you said, that mishandled the quarterback position, mishandled their head coach. Both of them are gone. You climbed the mountaintop with a backup hiker. Like, everything you pack in your backpack you ain't need. It's the backup. Like, hey, man, can you come over here and lead the pack? Nick Foles takes you to the mountaintop. It's just crazy. This situation, you don't know which way is up. So Jalen Hurts, a guy who only starts 3 games for you and finishes 3 games for you, leads the #2 offense in the NFL with yardage. And then all of a sudden, we got this controversy. We have this competition. Or better yet, I just want to see if he could do this better than some other prospects out there. It's silliness going on with your team, but it's your team, so don't sell them out.
I'm not.
Rock with them.
I'm not. But if I'm a rock with them, I got to rock with the truth. And the truth is, the Eagles have only been good in the last decade when they had really good quarterback play. It's not like some teams, Baltimore Ravens, when they win their Super Bowls, they didn't need elite quarterback play. They had an elite defense, a top-flight defense, or they were led by Ray Lewis. Like, when the Ravens won, they didn't need, like, outstanding quarterback play. But the Eagles' defense has never been elite. They've been good enough to get the job done. So I'm in Philly. We got Mike Vick there. We start 3-5. Nick Foles comes in, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions over the course of 8 weeks. So that's an NFL record for most touchdowns in a game against the Oakland Raiders. I'm sitting there on the sideline watching them.
Why are you on the sideline?
I play defense. So if I'm watching them, I'm on the sideline. Duh.
It was a joke, you mad.
So look, I'm sitting on the sideline watching my dog.
I love it.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, really good quarterback play led us to the playoffs. Yeah. Next year, Foles gets hurt. Mark Sanchez goes in. Decent quarterback play. We don't go to the playoffs. Carson Wentz comes in, rookie year, struggles. But then his second year, amazing quarterback play. Playoffs, Super Bowl. Next year, Nick Foles, Carson Wentz. Playoffs. Next year, Carson Wentz. Amazing quarterback play. Playoffs. Carson Wentz struggles. Eagles struggle. I ain't got confidence because I also don't have confidence in Jalen Hurts just yet at this junction in time. The Eagles, historically, they go as far as their great quarterback play because their defense has never been elite. I don't trust the coach, and I don't yet trust the quarterback.
See, you know what? People have been putting me on to you, and you know I love you so much. Sometimes it covers for the fact that you just be saying stuff.
What'd I say?
Be sitting there like,
What'd I say?
You said they go as far as their quarterback play. But when they won the Super Bowl, they had the 4th-ranked defense in points and yardage. That sounds elite to me.
Remember what happened in the Super Bowl? Tom Brady playoff record, 505 passing yards.
Oh, he had a great
What happened? Nick Foles, elite quarterback play against the Falcons, elite quarterback play against the Vikings, elite quarterback play against the Patriots, Super Bowl win. Okay. So, like, the defense is solid, but it ain't never been like... It ain't been like the Seattle Seahawks 2013 against the...
What years were you there?
2013, 2014, 2015. We have the 29th ranked defense.
29, 28, and 30. Jaded. Can you take those rose-colored lenses off?
But we still made the playoffs 2013 because Nick Foles went crazy. So if your quarterback play goes crazy, you're going to be all right. Seahawks, Eagles, I don't know what the defense has been since that 4th-ranked defense in Super Bowl year, but it ain't been elite, big dog. Ain't been elite.
You know, you and I got that little private session with my therapist, working on that self-hate. You over there looking at these bad defenses you played for, and then the year they win the Super Bowl, it's top 5, but then it's not elite.
But we were the 3rd best defense as far as forcing turnovers. The reason we gave up so many points, because Chip Kelly, your coach, was running that high-speed offense, so we were always on the field because of your coach,
Did Chip Kelly. Because it sounded like a little more
5 times.
Damn, no wonder like that. Come on, give me a quick one. Come on, I'll tell you. 1, 2, 3. Ah. 1, 2, 3. Counter break. Coming up, we tied. How did you do that in that game? Nick Sirianni, can we make the team? One of the Lakers superstars will be back tonight. We'll tell you if Anthony Davis can carry LA without LeBron. Next, speak for yourself. See, y'all do it different. We go 1, 2.
Anthony Davis says he's 100% healthy, and he's finally expected to make his return against the Mavs tonight. Lakers fans everywhere rejoicing. AD has been out for over 2 months, and the Lakers moved from the 2 seed to the 5th seed since he's been gone. The Lakers are still missing their other superstar. We all know LeBron James. Reportedly weeks away from returning. So, still, can AD carry the Lakers without King James?
No. Return of the Anthony, return. No. Can't do it. Did he do it in New Orleans? I know he's a different dude, but those cast of characters, these cast of characters, you can't do it. How far will you do it? Only made it out of the first round twice in New Orleans. Comes here first year with LeBron James. Championship. Without LeBron James, I think we're going to go back to what we saw from AD before LeBron James. And you know I love me some Anthony Davis. I think he's the MVP of this team. I think he is a beast. But you need a dynamic duo to qualify in today's NBA. Minimum. Only team I can think of that doesn't have one really is Miami Heat. They put 4 of them dudes out there trying to form Voltron, and that still wasn't good enough, but they did make it to the finals. If you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, you're going to run out Markieff Morris, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, Marcus Gasol, Andre Drummond. Not in today's NBA. It won't add up to enough. AD's going to get his buckets. AD's going to look like the all-star he is, but it wouldn't go far.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, Jay can carry him, but he can carry him, that is. But it's really just a matter how far. Bro, remember the forearm strengthening exercises? You had to carry dumbbells, usually with the grip around the dumbbells, walk around the weight room. Maybe y'all didn't do that, bro.
No, we were winning. We didn't play
No.
30th ranked defense. We were number 1 defense.
You went to the playoffs once. Okay, and
3 times.
How many playoff wins?
I don't want to count. Because I can't count. No,
look, you can carry the dumbbells, but the question is just how far can you carry the dumbbells? That was the test of the workout. Right. AD can carry the Lakers to the playoffs. I think He can carry him to a playoff series win, I think.
Depends on who.
Right now, it would be the Nuggets. The Nuggets without Jamal Murray. I think he could carry him past them. But after that, still, now we got to play the Jazz. And, like, you ain't carrying them past the Utah Jazz. Not the way they hit threes, not the way they play defense. So AD can carry the Lakers without LeBron. But it's really just a matter of how far. But also, y'all remember, I watched every Lakers playoff game last year, hoping LeBron would win another chip. AD got hurt every series. And it wasn't even like huge injuries. It was just like one time he might turn his ankle, go out for like 5 minutes. One time might bruise his shoulder. One time he might get hit in the head, poked in the eye. It's like he seemingly can't stay on the court. And again, this year he can't stay on the court. So he can carry him, just not far.
He ain't going to carry nobody. He got tendinosis. He one gust of wind away. First of all, coming off an injury, I'm telling people, and I think enough fans understand this. You are so mindful coming back from injury of the injury that took you out, that made you depart the game. Like every step you take, you're like, tendon's still there. Tendon's still there. Good. So he's not going to even get into sixth gear in comfort or in mindset for a long time. Now you got to, as you said, carry more weight because you got to carry this team. Be careful. I don't see AD doing that, even though he's still a beast. Coming up, can Kyle Shanahan afford to take a risk with the Niners' number 3 pick? Spicy time. We'll answer that next on Speak. But all eyes will be on the 49ers next week to see who they will select with their number 3 pick. Sports Illustrated says Kyle Shanahan can afford to take a big risk with the pick because if the player does not work out, he can go to a new team and still have decades remaining in his NFL career. So right now, he, quote, has nothing to lose. Interesting. So, Acho, can Kyle Shanahan afford to take a risk with the number 3 pick?
He can, but it's all about how calculated of a risk, big dog. Again, I told you this. You know your boy be in the casinos. Your boy be in the casinos. Hitting on a soft 17, it's a risk, right? 17.
What's a soft one?
The goal of the game is to get to 21 in blackjack, right? So a soft 17 means there's an ace.
Don't ever belittle. Oh, okay.
It's an ace there, right? You hit on a soft 17, it's
What's
a
hard 17?
If there's no
10?
ace involved. A 10 and a 7 is a hard 17. 11 and a 6 is a soft 17, right?
Okay.
Ace is worth 11. The 6 is 6, 17.
Yeah.
You went to Columbia, but you can't do that?
No, I go to the club. I ain't got nothing to do with what's this, blackjack we talking right here? Yeah, I don't do all that. I'm good.
Hitting on a soft 17 is a risk, but it's a calculated risk. Hitting on a soft 18 is just stupid. It's just dumb. So drafting Justin Fields, it's a risk. It's a calculated risk. Drafting Trey Lance, to me, that's just dumb. Like, there's a difference between...
Why?
Because Trey Lance is too much of a risk.
Really?
Everything, bro, is all about risk versus reward.
He had 8 interceptions.
Trey Lance only started for 1 season in North Dakota State. Even Carson Wentz started for 2 to 3 seasons at North Dakota State.
Antonio Gates didn't play at all.
Even Carson Wentz came into the league. Antonio Gates was a tight end, no big dog.
Hey. Hall of Fame. But keep going. I'm interrupting you.
So it's like, if you're thinking about, can he afford to take a risk? Yes. But the question is just how big of a risk. Justin Fields, people say he's a risk because how efficient is he going to be year one being able to play the game? Everybody assumes Mac Jones is the least risky prospect. Trey Lance is the most risky prospect. To me, yes, Kyle Shanahan can take a risk. The question is just how big.
Interesting. You took that question that way. I was taking it more of like, why are you even taking a number 3 overall quarterback with the pick? That's risky because that's not your greatest need. Look at this team. This team was a Super Bowl appearing team and could have won. Fourth quarter finished the deal with the quarterback that they have right now as their starting quarterback. So address your needs, right? If you already, hey, we're going to go to the grocery store or we got bread in here. You go to the grocery store and buy more bread? Like, 1, it's going to spoil pretty fast. And 2, you ain't got bread. What the hell are you doing? I looked at it different, like Kyle Shanahan, because of that last name and because of a genius offensive coordinator stint, maybe you're just going to be able to buy more time even if this fails, which is weird because right now he's failing as a head coach, and that's not the narrative. He's still a genius. But you know how many offensive coordinators have failed in the transition to head coach? Kevin Gilbride, Cam Cameron, damn, I love Cam. North Turner, damn, I love me some North. These are my coaches. Damn, I had something to do with this. Charlie Weiss, Josh McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan now. Why would you want to risk and double down on a position when that position is the only thing that saved this franchise and maybe you in terms of your job, in terms of making it to the Super Bowl? 1 in 10 before Jimmy G said, let me be a full-time starter and handle business for you. 5 straight losing and non-playoff seasons before Jimmy G said, let's go out there. I'll be 22-8. More importantly, we'll make it to the Super Bowl. I just think it's a redundant pick. That's where I took it.
So, but knowing that Jimmy G only plays 56% of the games, knowing that, you're a general manager. You're not even general manager.
56?
Let me give you more at stake. You're Kyle Shanahan, 56% of the games. That's the only games he plays.
Yeah.
Would you trust going into the season with any player, if they are your most important player, if they only play 56% of the time?
56 is pretty low, but it's higher than 50. It's more than not. You know what? Why I would have rolled the dice? Because they have cornerback needs, strong safety, defensive end depth, wide receiver number 3 is gone. Like, tight end, Kittle was hurt last year. You trying to get another tight end because Kittle was hurt?
I get all that.
Like, stop.
But would you put your fate, Kyle Shanahan, would you put your fate on a quarterback if he only plays 56% of the time?
I wouldn't put my faith in the coach that's making that decision because he has
dodging
lost.
the question.
He's
You're dodging
7-27.
the question.
Yes, I would, actually. You know me. I don't give a damn. I'm going to do it because Jimmy G is 22-8. Everybody else, I'm 7-27. 3 of our 4 seasons as an offensive coordinator, we're 20th or worse in terms of offensive production. I'm a guru. I'm a genius. It ain't working with anybody else. I'm going to hold and hug Jimmy G more so to say, stiff arm, let me go get your replacement in this moment. There's just too many other needs to address. Why did the 49ers have a bad season last year? Started with Jimmy G being injured and everyone else. If everyone else was injured and this is an injury-riddled season, why are you not drafting at every other position? Why are you not talking about something else at the number 3 position that you may have those needs? It just seems like Jimmy G got to be the scapegoat to buy them runway so that they could try and fix it.
If you're Kyle Shanahan, I think you're thinking a couple things. Number one, no pick is that risky because no talented quarterback is that risky in my hand.
Really?
Talented.
In his hands? Why his hands?
Because Kyle Shanahan, 1, he's a head coach, so he's cocky. 2, he's seen what he's done with Matt Schaub. He saw what he did with Robert
head coach
Griffin.
then, though.
He saw what he did with Matt Ryan. He knows what he's capable of doing. If you give him a quarterback that is above average, he knows what he can do with them dudes.
If he's a coordinator, yeah. Different game.
It is a different game.
Okay.
Now, it is a different game.
Yeah.
I do think, I was trying to grab an I word. I do think that Kyle Shanahan, knowing what is at stake, he is going to be more hands-on with whatever quarterback he drafts, and I think
Can I go back to blackjack since soft
17.
17s, hard 17s? How about 2 10s? Somebody yelled at me one time. I almost
split 2 10s?
Hell yeah, you gave me a 10 and another one? That's what, all right, you don't supposed to do that, right? So why are you over here loving Kyle Shanahan who's about to split 2 quarterbacks? He about to split 2 quarterbacks. You got you a 10. Jimmy GQ is a 10. Don't split them. If you
split 2 10s, I would leave the table.
And he tried to, too. And then my homies found him. Yeah, talk that noise if you want. This ain't easy over here. They ain't always sweet. Coming up, the NFL passed the rule allowing players to change numbers. You sound like that dude. He was mad. We'll tell you what numbers we would have picked when we played. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Why are you so mad at splitting 2 teams?
The NFL passed the expanded jersey number rule, which will allow running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defensive backs, and linebackers to wear numbers in the single digits if they want. So, Marcellus, what number would you wear?
Man, I don't even count. They didn't even change it for the defensive end, but you know me, Pop Warner, Hall of Famer, one of the best ever to do it, wore number 3. So I'm wearing number 3 again, single-digit odd number. Oh!
Yeah.
He ain't gonna fall off like he did with number 75 if I wore number 3 my entire career.
Your boy would have been in that too, big dog. There's some great defensive players to wear that number 2 throughout the years. Chase Young, how about Deion Sanders? There been some dogs that's been in that too now. Your boy would have been in a fresh little 2. 1 is too simple, too plain, too fresh though.
Look how you finished that sentence. It would have been Deion Sanders and then it would have been Acho. So then nobody else growing up would have worn number 2 because of you. That's it for us. I love jokes. Fox Bet Live is next. I look sweeter than you too. Admit it. You yoked though. Yeah.